Yeah, so like I say, I don't mind having boxes open if this is the way we're going to operate. It's the best way to do it, as long as people are respectful. Hi, Kylie. I've just requested for you to switch on your mic. Hi, how are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me up.
That's all right.
You can hear me. Cool. I love watching all of your content, your deep dives, and your daily reaction.
Thank
Have me
you.
more. I do try to send you lots of panda videos. I don't know if you see me hanging you
Yes,
away in panda videos.
I appreciate them. Thank you very much.
So my main opinion is my issue with Luna is, or Annette, whatever, is you say the slightest thing she doesn't like, and that's it. You're bullying. Like, I could turn around to you and say, "Oh, those cat ears look a bit silly on your head," and you'd be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, well, whatever."
Do you know
But if
what's
I said
funny?
that to
Do you know what's
her,
funny
she'd be
about
like,
that,
"You're
Kylie?
bullying me."
Sorry to cut you off, but what's funny about that is Luna has said that about me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, oh well, that's fair enough. That's banter. She said, oh, I'm
But if
not
the
even
roles
going to
were
talk about
reversed,
his beard and his silly cat ears. And I'm like, all
but
right,
if the
fair
roles,
enough.
yeah, but if the roles were reversed, she'd be labeling you a bully.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I went into her live once, and it was one of the times that she was sort of doing one of the croaky voices and stuff, and saying it was a ME. And I went in and I said, "Oh, that's a bit weird. I've got ME, and I've never had problems with my voice." And she was like, "Oh yeah, well we've mixed with my PCOS," and I was like, "But I've got PCOS as well, and I've got other health conditions, and still, I've never known it to make anyone's voice. Oh, you're just being a nasty troll. Block."
Well, this is the thing, right? So, in that situation, if I'm going to be honest with you, Carly, in that situation, she's being defensive, right? But one thing I will also say is, and I've spoken and said it a lot, and I'm not condemning you, you and I are not going to have an issue from this statement, but we can't also define because your journey with that isn't the same as hers. But you asked the question, so
Yeah,
she could have said, if she's an educator on it, she could have said, well, I understand it might not affect you like this, but it affects me like this. Maybe it's more to do with my mental health and nerves or stuff, or whatever it is.
yeah. Because I
Um,
said, "How comes it makes your voice go?"
yeah,
Because I've got it, and it never makes. I've never had that. I know several other people, and they've never had that. So why? I don't understand why yours goes like that. I was trying to get an understanding of what happens,
and
especially
I
because it's been really fake.
and I don't think that there's anything wrong with asking questions where you are hoping to be educated. Like
Yeah,
if you are condemning someone, oh, you're full of shit. There's no way. That's a whole different thing. That's sort of ignorance as far as I'm concerned. But if you are trying to open up a dialogue and then you're immediately shut down and called a troll, that's a huge problem, and I think that is a big problem with Annette.
yeah. And then, unfortunately, with that sort of reaction, it then has people turning around and going, "Well, obviously she is faking it because she's not willing to have a conversation about it." Then it just makes the whole chronic illness community look bad.
And especially when she says she's an educator and she helps people on the issue.
Exactly. So you're not educating anyone, are you? You're just shutting them down unless they want to be a little echo chamber,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
Honestly, great point. Honestly, really great point. It's a really nice chat. Thank you for coming into the box. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
But can I just ask as well? Like, I just want to ask the chat: does the chat agree with what Kylie is saying? Because I don't think there's been one person who we've spoke to in the box who hasn't had valid points, and I think that Luna hears some of these critiques or questions and just immediately labels somebody as a troll, and that's why she ends up with 10,000 people in a blocked list. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not healthy. But anyway, thank you, Carly, for jumping up. It's been lovely chatting to you.
Like the last lady said about going on sub only, she says, "Oh well, that's that loses me loads of views." But surely you want quality, not quantity.
Yes, exactly that. Because, like I said before, Luna sort of operates in this sort of lol cow area,
Yeah,
and people are also there will be people who are prodding her to see her react and then screen record it and talk and all that sort of stuff. and she's just going to feed into that. But yeah, thank you, Kylie. I'm gonna move on.
Thanks for
But thank
having
you very
me.
much. It's been lovely speaking to you. Peace, guys. I do see people requesting the box as well. I will try and get you all in. Just let me get through everyone who's in now, so I'm sort of running it in the right order. Hey Amanda, I've requested your mic.
Hi there, in fact, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a while. You all right?
I'm doing really, really well. As I said, I got my master's recently, so
Awesome.
my point's very much. Thank you. My point's going to be very much on the psychological element. I think I found one thing I found very hard that I noticed someone pointed in the chat is that she said to Zach that he couldn't use his ADHD as an excuse, which he wasn't. He was just trying to educate her,
Yes.
and I think that's very much a thing with Annette that she. Struggles to differentiate. She struggles to differentiate the difference between education and someone attacking her and criticism. And with that,
What I will
sorry,
say,
please go on.
No, sorry, man. What I will say is, I do think Zach was using her for content, but
100%.
Annette expected Zach to follow a certain way about interacting with her, based on the way she felt about doing, TikTok
Yeah.
with him and her conditions and etc. But she had no empathy or interest in doing the same for Zach when Zach explained some of the things around his ADHD, which I found
which
very
is one rule for one rule for another. And that's one thing I think when you turn the mirror on somebody and they do struggle with criticism, even if it's not criticism, whether it's constructive or not, I think that's something she's very uncomfortable with, because obviously she appears to attempt to convey a level of sort of confidence, which I think, and bravado, which Zach had, and he's very naturally like that. Which when she tries to do that, she gets stuck in the disability, in the inability to disarm herself and understand the true element of what Zach is trying to create, because he is an entertainer. And I also think, with that being said, she very much doesn't understand, as we all know. You particularly, I'm very big on this. Not many people understand what accountability and responsibility really is, and I think people using such words as but and because that automatically removes accountability and responsibility, because it's minimising language. And I think although we know that, it's something that's very hard to change. And I think coming off the app, at least if for a period of time, will be good. And hopefully she'll use that time to reflect in the things that people have said to her. I mean, I have ADHD and ASD the same as you do. Yeah. But I always say to people when I say something, if I say something wrong, even if I don't like criticism, which I don't, please hold me to account, because I have to learn. And that's something I think that hopefully in time for herself will come to accept. The only worry that I have, obviously, I'm great if she goes down the line of sort of assessment. She'll learn, hopefully she'll accept the education, but I'm hoping in what we saw with Zach that she doesn't start to explain it away, if you know what I mean, the accountability and responsibility. I hope she'll learn to accept it, but to explain.
I think that comes with emotional maturity and the ability to critically think, not just about things around you, but about you. Do you know what I mean? And I don't see a lot of that with her. I see her trying to protect herself against the slightest criticism, as well as
she's not comfortable with herself.
Yeah, she is an issue. But no, thank you so much for coming and chatting, Amanda. Honestly, some really
good points,
especially from the psychological opinion. That makes a lot of sense what you've said. But yeah, thank you so much, Amanda.
You're welcome. All right, have a good evening, fella.
You look after yourself, all right? Bye.
You too, darling. Bye.
Right. Daydream, darling. Can I just say as well, before Daydream starts speaking, sorry, everyone who's just waited very patiently, and I know there's people who are waiting the request, thank you for waiting patiently and letting me do it. I ain't having all these boxes with people fighting and going on like divvies. All right? Sorry, right, Daydream. Right, what would you like to say about the situation?
Hello.
Hi.
Without sounding like I'm echoing, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, that's okay then. Without sounding like an echo of everyone else, I strongly agree with what everyone said. I think that she's obviously in a vulnerable state, and I think that other creators have jumped on that.
Mm-hmm.
when she said that she's leaving, and I think if they really wanted to support her, then they wouldn't have engaged in the whole live. If she wanted to leave, they should have encouraged her to do that if she had made that decision for herself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree with. I totally agree with you. And there's nothing wrong with agreeing with people as well. Like, you're just another voice and support of the opinions that are being made, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. Have you watched Annette for a while, or have you just sort of been
I've seen
aware of
bits
her?
and bobs on and off. I'm aware of her. It's not someone I'd purposely go and watch, if that makes sense. Um, because there's sort of, don't know how to explain it. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't apologise. You're trying your best, and
Um,
is it? You're just not, you're just not interested in the content, or is it something about the way she presents herself that you're like, ugh, I don't fancy that?
I think it's more the way that she comes across, and it's the fact that there's other creators as well that if you feel like you can't say things in the way, like, I'm autistic, so
No, I
yeah,
get that. I
I
get that.
sometimes say things and it doesn't come across or
Yes,
how I intend for
communication
it to come
issue.
Across.
Communication issue friend
Yes,
right here, you know.
yes.
We've got each other's back.
Hello, husband.
Oh my God, we just got married. But yeah, but it's one of those things, and I get that, and I especially get the tism side of things. Like, you want to understand things,
I'm discussing something on TikTok. Don't worry.
you want to discuss things, and you want to ask questions, but then you have the concern that people are not, giving you a chance to explain yourself and your question, and somebody like Annette
Yeah,
is more likely to jump on you rather than
exactly. So it
yeah.
kind of didn't feel like a safe place for me to be, whereas I'm quite happy going here and I'll quite happily be in like Minx's box and things like that.
Um,
Um,
Well, you're more
because
than
she
welcome
gets
here.
it.
Man, us
Um,
neuro spicy lot have got to stick together, haven't we?
yeah, I think that if she was, oh, it sort of played out a lot, and it didn't need to be played out. If she wanted to leave, she should have just left rather than dragging it out. And it, I don't know, it just brings bad light on things, I think.
Can we get some support for daydreaming in the chat? Because I think a lot of us will agree with that 100%. I think a lot agree with that. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming to speak to me. You did really
Well, thank
well.
you very
You did
much.
really well, so don't fucking beat yourself up. You did fantastic. The points you
No,
made
wait,
were
sorry. My
great.
husband was in the shower and then he came downstairs and I was just like, hi.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say that's BS, and I'm now your husband. Um,
Oh, okay.
and,
If you want to run with that,
yeah, well, either that or me and your
don't tell
husband
Remy.
have it. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna kick you before you get me in trouble. Bye, daydreaming.
Bye.
Have a good night. That was lovely. She made some honestly really good points as well. And there's nothing wrong with getting to a certain stage and be like, well, actually, I agree with a lot of what people have said. I don't know this Pockerz guy. We should probably remove him from the box. Pockerz, are you awake? Have you fell asleep? What's going on?
How very dare you, sir? How very you don't talk to me like that. Why can't we be married?
Because
Oh wait, it's
a lot of
family, isn't
people
it?
think we're brothers, so
Oh, I know.
that
Yeah.
will cause a lot of issue. What would you like to say about the situation?
So, oh dearie me, where do we begin? I mean, does it make sense that she's announcing her departure like she's going to bloody Benidorm? No. Is it the first time she's done it? No. Have people fallen for it again? Yes. And I saw your video as well. Like, she doesn't earn, like, though she says TikTok is her job, it doesn't really earn much for a job. That's for sure.
No, it
So
doesn't,
I mean, and that,
which is
no,
the point I made before was I don't understand what glues her to it, because it isn't
Yeah.
it isn't a job, and it isn't even a second income at the amount of money
Yeah.
she makes.
100%. And at the end of the day as well, even yesterday I said, like, look, if she's made like 160 quid for doing this, then fine, fair enough. But she wants to stay in her own lane. But she's very inept to actually staying in her own lane. But did you see the live that Peter did earlier today?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Well, allow me to give you some insight, sir. So It started off all hunky dory. Then, like, Pitt opened up her boxes and whatnot. No problem there. Then, like, an ex-mod went in. Then Annette joined. It went a bit bonkers because basically everyone was telling her that you always you'll always like apologize, but then there's that but at the end, right?
Yeah.
So it's like me saying, like, I love you, fact freak, but follow, and of course, and then it negates the situation, right?
Because without me going into like huge detail, I have said something on this app that I regret. A lot of people will know that I made an apology, and not ever would I ever excuse anything that I said. You know, and I'm only not going into specifics because I don't want to upset anybody. What I said was unholy. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I let myself down. Do you know what I mean? But I've never said any sort, and I'm not even going to indicate any excuses that could be made because, once again, that is slightly doing that sort of thing. So you've got to have accountability, and then you've got to show that you don't do it again.
Yeah. No, 100%. And but the thing is that Pitter was actually agreeing with the people that were talking to Annette, like the way that Annette handled the Cutting Edge Creation situation with his wife and with Dan's wife and stuff. You know, like Pitter was agreeing, and Pitter handled it, I mean, insanely well.
I would imagine there's a lot of people.
It did get up. It got over to like 1,000 people, which is like crazy. But I guess the problem is that Annette doesn't know when to stop. But even Pitter pretty much put her in her place to the degree that actually Jon joined the box. Pitter actually unblocked Jon, and he then kind of went into business for himself and said that he wanted to give out some kind of olive branch to Annette, which
at the end of the day, you've seen the podcast that's coming out tomorrow between me and Jon even talks about in sort of some accountability of where he may have gone too far and where he's XYZ. But I'm gonna have to turn the light on you, Pockerz. Do you think your cam 2 of Annette was too far yesterday? It's been discussed all over the app. I don't know if you've had your say on it yet.
No.
But how do you think? Because I've seen clips, but I mean the most shocking clip is to do with the name change, which, apart from you being in the box and laughing, do you? But take
the context of how I laughed.
But you just said, right? Because we're mates, man, and I just want to have a friendly discussion. But you just said Annette doesn't know when to stop. So if Jon's reaching out that olive branch, is this where it stops for you? The Lunar Tuna Tuesdays, all this sort of stuff, the Cam 2 and etc. Like I get it, because when you've raised awareness of one person, everybody who has an issue or evidence or screenshot is always going to come to you guys because you are people speaking about it. But do you know now it maybe is time as well?
I mean, it's kind of like I haven't really even spoken to Jon, to be honest with you, because I didn't anticipate like him, going into Peter's box. In fairness,
but in respect, obviously, it's like teaching somebody to suck eggs. But obviously, Jon is his own entity. What about just yourself? Do you know what I mean? Like, are you thinking about that now? Are you thinking like, well, maybe that's it? You do your reactions, etc.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I'm thinking about it for sure. But because obviously we host it as a duo, it was kind of like that's where I was then thinking, well, okay, because he, did he want me to carry on doing it, or does he, like there was that conversation that's not been had. I didn't know that he was going to go in and obviously say what he said today. But then I guess it's just that crazy question of when is too much for anything, I mean, I'll
put the question from the chat. Somebody's just said there. In other words, no. Is that the way you're thinking about it? Like, actually, are you leaning towards like, well, no, I don't want to stop this, like, or
Well, I
like,
don't want to stop raising awareness, like, and showing people, like, what she's capable of doing.
yeah,
As I said earlier, this is the third time she's done this.
yeah, oh
If there
yeah,
was,
I've said it.
if, yeah, like if it's really affecting her, and look, and listen, I'm not, a massive old, well, I don't want to start swearing up in your live,
No,
but like,
well, please don't. No, don't.
yeah, but well, it's aimed at me anyway. But it's fine. I don't want to. I don't want this perception to be out there. But then I guess I'm never going to please anybody. I started doing the Tuna Tuesday before John even joined it. John joined the show, not the other way round. And that was just me doing my cam. I don't really cam tour that often. It was normally the clips that were on the FYP. So it was essentially just my FYP show
So,
based on her.
from what I'm hearing, you're not sure, basically. It seems like you're leaning towards business as usual. Nobody can tell you what to do. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I understand awareness, more than a lot of people.
Hundo.
And I understand that you've obviously had, a connection to Annette and everything like that. But is it, like, I don't know, like, do you, what awareness is needed after today?
But then on top of that, it's just like like anyone's normal FYP show. It's just like if there's a video on the FYP.
Well, not Lunar Tuesday. Do you know what I mean?
Lunar Tuesday. Yeah, it's just like obviously it's finding clips, but then it got to a stage obviously where I first started doing it, and there was obviously all these preconceived clips. Whereas then it got to a stage then when John joined, that obviously we were just trying to collect the clips as it happened. So it was very much like within the last week normally. And then in fairness, with the last couple of weeks where she ain't been on properly, we haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
because she hasn't given us the,
a lot of my awareness, not all of it, but a lot of it is reactory awareness. I've spoken about Luna, obviously I've done a couple of videos in the last 24 hours, but I've done it in reaction to this. Do you know what I mean? Like, if this wasn't going on, then there would be no need for me to speak on it, etc.
100%.
Well, I don't mean to be like jumping on your pockets, but I'm asking the questions that people are wanting to know, basically, and I thought I'm the best.
No. I get it. I mean, but then, this is the thing. Is okay, right? So I do Tuna Tuesday, but people forget that I did Tatty Tara Thursdays. Yeah. I did Wicked Wednesdays, where it was all about Elphaba. So it wasn't always about Annette. And okay, yeah, I dropped them because I then
you
just
have the connection. That's why.
But then moving forward more with like FYP stuff, whatever, for the rest of the week. But as I say, like she got one day a week, Yeah. If she didn't then if she didn't come online, as I said, like the last 2-3 weeks, we didn't do it because she didn't come live, and that's fine. Well, I wasn't like getting upset about it. Like, I don't see her as a cash cow. Yeah, as you said earlier, she's definitely one of the more lol cows on the app and whatnot. But and it's just if it has to end because she doesn't come online, then it ends, doesn't it? Like, I'm not going to lose sleep.
A lot of people don't understand how Luna has personally gone for people as well. And that does get forgotten behind the crying and I'm going to leave sort of live stream that went on. You and I both know she was messaging mods, asking to find John's workplace, asking people to email, doing all that and all that sort of stuff. She lied about me. She said I sent her aggressive voice notes, suggested to a mod she was going to do something to herself. All this sort of stuff. She can be very manipulative. I don't think that should be unforgotten. But, well, right, okay, in the chat, somebody said you built your following off Lunar Tuna. How do you respond to that?
That's fair enough. I mean, how like, look, I'll be honest, how can I deny that?
I do awareness on creators, wrong-uns all over everyone can say I'm building a profile of everyone I speak on. But now you've built that profile, I suppose, like, do you feel like you need to, You know what I mean? Like,
I
still be
don't.
grounded
I,
with
d-
that
I
Luna thing, or
don't.
do you want to move on
Yeah,
to something
yeah.
else?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't need to carry on talking about her in any respect. Of course, I don't. Like, But when you then build obviously a show where then, as I say, people come in. I've got my Luna bingo card. Like it's not that.
1 second, Pockers. Why is he getting a lot longer than others talking? Because Pockers has been involved in the whole situation, the controversial Cam 2 last night and everything like that. So I'm asking questions that people have been asking and talking about in lives. That is why. It's like, that is why. And I'm sorry, but
I mean, I don't
like
want
live,
preferential treatment.
You can go with. It's nothing to do with preferential treatment. You were
I thought it
doing
was
the
'cause we're
Cam
brothers.
2 lives about Luna last night. You speak about Luna a lot. A lot of people have accused you of bullying, etc. Nobody else in this box have been accused of any of the things that Pockers is around this issue. So he's getting those questions asked. Does anybody in the chat have an issue with the fact that I'm asking Pockers more questions? Yes or no, chat? If it's a yes, Pockers, I'm sorry, you're out. But, like, there are more questions to ask around this. But sorry, I totally cut you off there, but I just wanted to respond to that person.
That is fine. I mean, I can't even remember what I was saying. Preemptive. Honestly, I'm so engaged, but also like I'm just not engaged. No. Okay, so the thing with Tuna Tuesday is that it's not the be all end all of my existence. It isn't. Like, and I've always said with John when he sort of joined, it was just like, look, when the funsies stop, it stops, right? Like, if we feel has the
funsies stopped then?
Well, for John, it apparently seems the case.
But what about for answer? Sorry to be that guy, but answer for you, man.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I don't think necessarily funsies have necessarily ended, but the only way that they would end is if she comes off the app. And I mean, I'm not, and please don't get it twisted. I'm not like going on a crusade that Annette must be off the app. Like the app's there for everyone. There are far worse people on this app. She's just this caricature that
like that kind of sounds like a Pockers. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be honest.
What, that I don't want her off the app?
You know what I mean? Like you kind of just said, well, if she's still here, then obviously the funsies haven't stopped.
No. The funsies would stop in the sense of if she carries on coming live and she does content, and thus obviously it ends up on FYP, so it ends up on the show, then the show's still alive, right? But the show is essentially.
That makes sense if there's enough stuff to fill a show, for example.
Yeah, and legitimately, there's been some. Yeah, there's been like what I call slow news weeks, where I say she's been live, but she's not really. There's like no clips have really sort of come of it, and then as I say, like the show can't go ahead. Essentially, she's me and John are there, and she's like the crux of the show. If she doesn't go live, then we can't do the show, and
What do you think about the comment saying giving bullying tactics a cute name feels like an attempt to justify bullying? I mean,
what do you mean? Sorry, hold on. Say again.
There's a comment there that says giving bullying tactics in quotations cute names feels like an attempt as justifying bullying. I assume they're talking about like the Tuna Tuesday and things like that.
No, I mean, okay, so I feel like everybody on this app can either do so little right or everything so wrong.
Yeah.
Like like as soon as Misread and EQ fell out, EQ was Cam 2 in her as a vendetta kind of thing against EQ, and then it became the Luke thing, and it's just like, but because Annette has only but here's the thing, right, as well, why people forget the fact that the people that have now recently decided to take her under her wing, where like last year or whenever it was, that they were all mocking her as well, and it's just kind of like
I've said this tonight. I feel like Luna was ruled out as a member of the clique because Luke had an issue with you and John, and I did say when I reacted to all this stuff back then, I didn't think Luna had the fortitude to deal with trolling that can occur when you are a creator within the drama space of TikTok. But
and I mean,
she's also an adult and she can make her own decisions. It's not their fault
that's true, because I mean, I did say to Alicia yesterday as well, that do we not have a responsibility onto ourselves to, if we cannot handle the heat, get out of the kitchen, right? And it's obvious that they I say they, as in the clique, whatever, but this isn't then me going at them. I'm just saying that they've taken her under the wing, as you said, like they've sort of rolled her out as like a sacrificial lamb. And if they actually knew Annette, they would know that probably what they're doing is maybe perpetuating it even worse than what a weekly show, if ever we could do that.
Well, without being really rude,
it's fine, you can say it.
I would like to ask you one question, and then I'm going to ask you to leave, and I'm going to get more people in who would like to share their opinions on what's gone on with Annette. As I said, chat, I ask people to be respectful, take your turns in the box. If you're not respectful, you're going to get yeeted. Have you got any regrets about your interaction with Annette on TikTok?
I would say there's probably maybe some things down the line, yeah. Like I could not sit here and fully refute what you're saying. There probably has been things. I know my intentions. My intentions are never out of malice or venom or hate. But then people can.
Somebody said such a fence. This is an interview, dipshit. That's how interviews work. Continue, Pockerz.
So what did I do? What?
I got accused of being a fence sitter. I'm asking questions. That's literally the position of that. But yeah, sorry, you were saying, Pockerz, about things you may regret around the net.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sure, as you say, there's things that I've probably said that, in the crazy sphere of TikTok that, is like a pebble in the ocean when you've then done say several lives after the fact, right? Doesn't necessarily make it right. There's nothing that I could necessarily sit here and pluck out of thin air.
But what about anything over the last 24 hours, 72 hours? Anything at all that recently that you regret?
Well, I don't think I've said anything that is that heinous.
Okay.
Other people may have, but I don't agree with it. With, say, in respect of what Sophie said, I mean, listen, if I was sat there outright, laughing my tits off, then that's a different story. But the context and kind of how it was more of an audible, laughy kind of awkward. Yeah. Because I've never done a quote unquote dare battle before. I did not think that is exactly what was going to come out of her mouth. But I don't, I guess sometimes if somebody doesn't like something that I've said or what someone else says, then that's all gravy, isn't it? You don't have to. You don't have to tune into my FYP show. You don't have to tune into Tuna Tuesday. You don't have to play bingo, win a gift card. That's what I mean by funsies. It's for me, it is not that deep, and I don't intend for it to be. But yeah,
No.
I guess we're all in,
I just wanted to ask the questions. I suppose that a lot of people have been putting about statements, really. You know what I mean? Watching what has gone on. So I just wanted to ask how you actually felt. Do you know what I mean? Especially while you're here. But yes, you're still my brother. Yes, you'll still be around for Thanksgiving dinner. Otherwise, it'd be very awkward with the parents. But thank you for coming up and speaking, Pockerz. But I'm going to ask you.
No, it's all right, mate. No stress.
Bugger off.
Yeah, no. That's something I'm very good at. Watch this. Oh shit! Hold on. Oh shit! There you go.
Bit awkward. Right, I will give a chance. I know there's a lot of people requesting. I'm just going to start a song, nip for a piss, because I'm over the age of 30, so I need one. So let me go for a piss. I'll come back. I'll let more people in the box. We'll start with Emily, and then we'll go back through. Anybody who wants to make a comment about what's been going on with Luna, come and chat to me. Please be respectful. If you're not respectful, and I mean of the host, of people in the box, of people in the chat, and of Luna herself, all right? So give us a second and we'll be back. No, we're not really brothers. We're just taking the piss. You got beard and your glasses and you're a little bit of a bigger guy than you look alike, apparently. Right, 1 second, guys. Keep tapping that screen, bitches.
Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power, just like a prayer. You know I'll take you there. I hear your voice. It's like an angel sighing. I have no choice. I hear your voice. Feels like flying. I close my eyes. Oh God, I think I'm falling out of the sky. I close my eyes. Heaven help me when you call my name. It's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power, just like a prayer. You know I'll take you there like a child. You whisper softly to me. You're in control, just like a child. Now I'm dancing. It's like a dream. No end and no beginning. You're here with me. It's like a dream. Let the choir sing when you call my name. It's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power, just like a prayer. You know I'll take you there when you call my name. It's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there in the midnight hour. I can feel your power, just like a prayer. You know I'll take you there.
Just requested the box, but your connection's dodgy or whatever. Next lot of people, this is the time to request the box. If you want to come in and give your opinion, please hit that request right now so I can get you in. There we go. 1 second. I think you had issues with your internet. There we go. It's probably because you waited so long. Sorry. I've not changed anything with my mic. I don't understand why people keep saying it's getting louder and quieter. Maybe it's me. I be quite a quiet fella, you know, sometimes. How's that? Is that a lot louder? Anybody else want the box? Sorry, I've got another request. Quieter than people in the boxes. I don't mind that. Fuck it. As long as you guys can hear the points being made in the chat. Right, okay. Sorry, Emily, you've waited for ages. What would you like to say about everything?
Right, so first of all, slight disclaimer, okay? I do have Tourette's, so I'm going to try very hard to keep any vocal tics to myself, for starters. And I am giving an outsider perspective to this whole situation. Okay, one, I haven't known Luna for very long at all, considering I hadn't come across her until probably a few months ago. However, I have been on this app since 2017. So, I have seen a lot, I have witnessed a lot, and I have experience in a lot. Okay, so, for starters, this whole thing with having to announce to people that she's leaving the app. I understand the outcome of wanting to say that so that people aren't confused when they don't see her often. However, repeatedly doing this, saying, I'm leaving, rephrase it. Don't say you're leaving, just say, I'm taking a break, I'm taking a step back. Because then when you do come back, people are less shocked, and people are less, oh, well, obviously it wasn't that important that you were leaving, and then it's not the boy that cried wolf every time. Now, in regards to the Rat Pack, the Clique, all of that, playground. It reminds me of being in school.
Yeah.
Everyone going at each other, fighting with each other. It gives me primary school.
100%.
We're all adults. Act like it sometimes. Understandably, some people might have certain things that cause them to have a younger mentality. Whether that be trauma, mental disabilities, what have you. That still has to be taken into consideration. However, I have done my research on Luna before joining because I had to. I knew nothing of her, knew nothing of what she had done.
Yeah.
Repeating what other people have said, accountability is needed, especially for certain things. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, other people will.
Yeah, especially on social media.
Yes. Now, Luna isn't the first person that has done this on the app. She is not going to be the last. She is not going to be the first person to turn around and, in the sense of things, blame everything on disabilities that she has. Or trying to play the victim in certain aspects, or, as some people have put it, the manipulation. She's not the first, she's not going to be the last. Mm-hmm. But it should be a learning curve for other people.
I think you're speaking a lot of facts. I think a lot of people are agreeing as well in the chat. I think you've done really well, by the way. I know you're a bit nervous to speak. You've done really well, and I think everything you've said there is spot on. And the other thing as well, what I want to touch on is, you say you've been on the app for many, many years, probably a lot longer than a lot of some of the bigger creators, Luna herself. And people always say, I would love to go back to the good old days. Well, it was exactly the same shit. There was just different people doing the same crap. Like, everyone talks about, like, let's go back in time as though it was some fairy tale time. Well, I've been doing awareness of wrong-uns for 5 years on this app, and I'll tell you now, I've never ran out of a wrong-un, do you know what I mean, to speak about, for example. But no, I think, what do you think, chat? Did Emily speak a lot of facts? If she did, hit facts in the chat. Like, I think what you said there was perfect.
There's even another thing with the whole subs and things like that. Again, this is going to be showing like my veteраnism on the app, okay? Because bearing in mind, I was on it before the name change. Mm-hmm. There used to be a thing where, and if you have been on the app for so long, this might re-jog a core memory for you. There was a thing that people could give you, which was called a best friend. It would change your name in the chat.
Oh,
So you would have your the grey name for everyone normal, then you would have a red name for someone that is followed, and then you would have a yellow name for someone who you have given best friend access to.
yeah.
That caused a lot of arguments, and it is the similar aspect of going into boxes and talking and doing all of this and talking about each other and talking behind people's backs. That's exactly what the best friend tag did to people. So when people turn around and they say, "Oh, I want to go back to the way it was before the name change," it was the same thing, just different shapes.
Yeah.
It just had a different name, and it just had a different meaning.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. Used to be able to guest people as well. Long before TikTok had like boxes and things like that and battles, used to be able to guest people, and it was the same thing that the Rat Pack and the Click are doing, where they just argue and talk smack about each other
To get
online.
the views in.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Emily, you've done absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing your opinion.
All right.
You did amazing. The newest member of my mod team as well, so give us some love. Right, I'll catch you later, Emily. Thank you. Thank you.
See you later.
Right. 1 second. 1 second.
I just want to be really quick.
You're
turn
skipping
the volume
like,
up?
I don't, like, am I quiet? Because I've turned my volume up so much. Like, I'm sick. 1 sec. What about
The
now?
boxes are so loud in comparison to you.
1 sec. Fuck's sake. How about now?
Can a box speak?
Is that any louder? Yeah. Yeah, some people say it's fine, some people say it's loud.
I've
It's
got
not
my
loud
volume
enough.
turned right up.
Sounds fine. All good.
Can someone in the box speak? That's not me.
Yeah, you were a little louder
Sorry. Somebody said remove the C from your name. Oh, you're calling me fat freak, are you? Fucking hell. You're the first one to come up with that, dipshit. Fuck me. Like, that's how you deal with a troll, Luna. Jesus Christ. Right. Sorry.
Is it changed now?
Is it any better, chat?
Yes, perfect. I'm going to drop now because that's all I wanted.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Troll, for showing how many brain cells you've got. Lucky for you, it's a number you'd be able to count up to. Right, Jeannie, what have you got to say? Come on.
The only problem I've got is the health issues. It's like she doesn't take other people's health issues into consideration, and when you try and explain to her, she blocks you.
What do you mean? I
Like,
don't understand, like, her about other people's health issues.
She cries over her health issues, saying, well, she's got this, she's got that. Yeah, we understand that you have health issues. But other people that are trying to help you have health issues too. Yeah, they might not be as bad as yours, but please just listen to what they're saying. It could help her a lot.
So what you're saying is, like, don't take everything, as people are saying, as criticism.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not. I mean, I've got underlying health issues, but I'm not coming up saying, well, my health issues is causing this, and my health issues is causing that. People don't need to know.
No, I understand that. Scarlet Ray, does this sound like a live where people are going at somebody? We're having an adult conversation. Everyone's taking their turn in the box. Everyone's speaking respectfully. How is this somebody going at somebody? There's nobody here body shaming, making comments about people. There's nobody saying that anybody's disabilities are invalid, etc. This is a discussion about something that has happened on social media. And if you are on social media, like myself, you are open to criticism and people to talk about it and give their opinion. Is this a respectful live chat, yes or no? Sorry, Jeannie, continue.
I mean, she's got that a lot of followers. They ain't following her to listen to her moan about her health. They're following her because they are liking her content when she's talking about her animals, when she's doing teddy bear making. That is what they're like.
So you think she needs to focus on that rather than being caught up in the negative?
Exactly, she does.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't think she's doing enough to protect herself. Like I said, she could put sub-only chat on her lives, and that protects her from getting sort of remarks, and go about her normal stuff, the stuff you're saying that is more positive, that she would get enjoyment from. So I totally agree with that.
What she needs to do is, like everybody else has said, take a step back and reflect on why she joined the app. She joined because she wanted to meet people. She joined because she felt lonely in lockdown. And then she started with a teddy bear making, showing people what she could do. And then she introduced the bird. Now she's introduced the dog. Start going back to that, back to basics.
Yeah. Chat, do you agree with Jeannie? Yes or no? I think you've made some really good points, if I'm honest with you, Jeannie, and I do think you're right. But I just, with Annette, I see her saying that it's bad, and it's horrible. Nobody should be trolled. I've said that 100 times. But are you doing enough to safeguard yourself? And if you can't safeguard yourself, should you be on here in the first place? You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you for sharing your opinion, Jeannie. I really appreciate it. I will catch you later, all right? Look after yourself. You said you weren't very well. I hope you get better soon.
I will do. I'll be fine.
You will, man. Have a rest, all right? Take it easy and hydrate, all right?
Thank you.
Peace. Right, Cutting Creations. Thank you, everyone who's been in the boxes so far, by the way, for just like patiently waiting their turn. I know I can waffle at times. Appreciate that. Hi.
Hiya, Fact. How you doing?
Hey, nice to speak to you.
And you. I heard you say earlier to Pockerz you didn't see Pitter's live earlier.
No, I didn't.
Which Annette was in. Well, Pitter was doing... I was flicking through lives and I bounced across it. And Pitter was doing a general live about politics, I think. But someone came in the box and was talking about Annette. So I stuck around. My name got invoked, so I ended up in the box talking to Pitter about the situation. And I ended up actually talking to Annette as well. And the point I did make to her was, and I made to the group, I don't think Annette sets out to do the giveaway scam and things like that. It did end up being a scam, but I don't think she sets out to do that.
I think she can't organise a piss up at a brewery, mate. Like I've said that before.
No. Hold on, my wife's forgotten her keys. So I think she does these things, and she cocks it up, and then because she won't take accountability or own anything, she then ends up in a situation where she's defending herself constantly.
Yes.
And there's no need to be. If she'd have gone, oh, I made a mistake. It's over. It's done. But it's that inability to do that I think leads to most of the problems.
Well, that's what I've said before. I've said, like, nobody should be trolled. And I think, go and watch the video I did today, people. Like I say, nobody should be trolled, but Annette will often call people who call her out on things trolls. People who have valid points, but you've done X, Y, Z, Luna, you're a troll. You're doing this, you're doing that. I mean, look at me. She asked me to look into her charity thing when she was doing the Ukraine thing, and then when I asked her clear, concise questions, could you provide this, could you provide that, could you provide the other, and she couldn't, she was busy voice noting her mod chat saying the fact freak has been horrible and doing it, I'm not going to do anything tonight, don't worry, and all that, which is all manipulation. And then and obviously everyone knows that's bollocks. I played all of the voice notes in the YouTube.
And the thing is, like tonight, what surprised me is Pitter actually surprised me. My opinion of her vastly changed because Annette wanted to talk to me about what my problem was. So I spoke to Annette and I said, look, the way the giveaway was done, it turned into a scam. And I explained why that was the case. and the fact that she moved the goalposts after it started, and she was arguing, no, I did not. And Pitta actually turned around and said, no, you did.
Yeah, she
The rules did change. And it was at that point that Annette went and just left. And it goes back to the same thing. If you can't take accountability for what you've done, if someone does something wrong, like you say, you said something you shouldn't have said, you owned it, you apologised, and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
No one, you may get a few little dickhead trolls that will come at you for it, but most people are human beings, and they say everyone makes mistakes, and you move on. It's that bridge that she never does, and it just means that all these things constantly linger and fester. They build up, and then anyone asks about it, she blocks them. Where you could be turning someone who's just asking a question into now an enemy because you blocked them. So now they're going to be angry about it.
Well, it's like I said, and I mean it in the most respectful way possible. It is not normal for somebody on TikTok to have 10,000 people blocked. That's not. It's not. Do you know what I mean? Like it isn't. That's either that's either like you're affected more than most by what is being said, or you are overly subscribing to people talking are trolls. Do you know, like, it's not the norm, is it? I know a lot of creators on this app, bigger creators than me, differently, and not one of them would say I've had a notification from TikTok to say I have too many people blocked at 10,000, unlike Annette.
But there's a prime example tonight when I was talking to her, I said, because she said, why did you go on John's live and say this? I said, I spoke nothing but facts. I didn't give opinion of you. I didn't say anything nasty. I just said what happened. I said, but what annoyed me about that is I pointed out that you had your giveaway had basically scammed somebody who I give a shit about. And you did that. And when I mentioned her, you instantly blocked her. She'd done nothing wrong. She's not spoken out against you. She's not said anything bad. And you blocked her for the only thing could be because she was a victim of yours. I said, and that's not okay. No. And then she went, I don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, yes, you do. Because you blocked her while I was still speaking. So I know it's just, I think it's just people get frustrated because it's...
Because of the lack of accountability, maybe?
But it's beyond that. I mean, I've never seen such a void of accountability in my life. It's like you're showing someone and saying this is a dog and holding a dog and going, no, it's a brick. Yeah. No, it's not. You can't just deny reality to the point. It's delusion, and it's what I think there is issues there, and I think if she starts to actually just own things and be honest about it, things would be a lot better, but she kind of self-perpetuates it.
It's kind of nuts to me. People who can't critically think about themselves or do sort of any sort of accountability, because you are never going to improve how you are. You know, because let's face it, her denial of accountability, the wall that she's put up, that people, everybody is a troll who calls her out, this wall she's put up has her in this state. Whereas if she actually took accountability and thought, hang on a minute, nobody else has 10,000 people blocked. Nobody else is, sort of these extremes. Why? Is there something I could be doing? Is there something, for example, she probably thinks I'm a troll. One of the things I've been speaking about for the last hour or so is saying the simplest thing she could do is put a sub-only chat on. That would protect her from a hell of a lot of trolling. Her views would drop because if people couldn't troll her, if what she's saying is true, they'd bugger off, they'd get bored. But it would create a safer space from her, but she probably wouldn't even entertain me making a point, because she'd be like, oh, what's the fact freak saying he's a troll? Just completely cut that. You know what I mean? Like, just sort of, there's just no chance to sort of listen to other people's perspective or what other people may suggest, which is wild.
Yeah, someone just said something in the chat, which is a good point, because Pitta mentioned it as well. The reason 50 goodie bags were not sent out is because she didn't get 50 subscriptions that qualified for it. And I said to her, well, that's fine. If you got 38, then guess what you do? You send 38.
Yeah.
You don't send less. You send exactly... Everyone who's a subscriber ends up getting one because you didn't reach the number. And I know you didn't do that, for one, because I was a subscriber during that time and I didn't get shit. So I know it didn't happen. So it's just I think it's a lack of account. She's never been held to account, and I don't think she likes it, and I don't think she can understand it. If I'm honest, it's sometimes it feels cruel to say, but it's one of those. Just think if she owned more stuff, people would be a lot nicer to her. Do you know what I mean? We'll all still get trolls because everyone does, but you won't get the quantity. Yeah, and if she was accountable for her actions, people like yourself wouldn't have a criticism for her, and neither would anybody else, because she'd have done something wrong and owned it. And then all that would be left is the little trolls that troll everybody, that everyone ignores.
Yeah. Right, thank you so much. Yeehaw, bitch. Thank you so much for sharing your opinions, man. Really quite insightful. I didn't know a lot about this live that had happened earlier on, so thank you for putting some insight, because if she's going to entertain Pitter, because from what I know, people who've been around her have not been welcome long after not supporting an echo chamber of yes, you're right, and all that. If Pitter is at least going to critically think, maybe Annette will listen, who knows. But yeah, thank you for coming up and speaking. I appreciate you.
No worries, thanks for having me.
I'll catch you later, buddy. Look after yourself, alright?
Yeah, mate.
Peace. I don't know who this guy is next. I have no idea. No idea. This is the longest John's waited patiently to speak to me.
I was debating how I opened up, to be honest. But the first thing I want to address is this quite serious allegation that's been made against me this evening. So, people have been, well, I say people, very low-numbered accounts have been coming into a number of lives this evening, saying that they've got proof that I said that Annette needs to unalive herself with a lanyard, okay? I would very much like to see this message, because I have searched through all of my Discord and WhatsApp messages, because you can search them, obviously. I typed the word lanyard and the various other keywords into it, and I could not find this message that I apparently have sent. So, if there is one, it's definitely made up. I don't joke about those sort of things. It's not something that I would say. So I just wanted to cover that off, because some people have been coming in and saying that, and it's just completely lied. It's made up.
It's the first time that I've heard of this, John. And has this been following you just since this whole Annette's leaving the app?
Well, it's only been in this evening. Apparently it's on Discord. I do not think I would have said something like that. Now, I do send Pockerz, jokey messages about different people all the time. But it definitely isn't something that I would ever have said. I mean, you guys can spin it. Well, there's already people saying, why would you need to search for it if you didn't say it? Because I wanted to see if it was something that Pockerz had said to me as well. So, I wanted to check if either of us had said it. And we hadn't. So I'm very confident that that's made up. So I just wanted to cover that off. But the most important reason why I'm here is because there's a certain thing happening tomorrow.
There is. The podcast is dropping tomorrow, so at 6 o'clock tomorrow on my YouTube, we have an interview with John. It's just over an hour long. We discuss a lot of things, obviously without spoilers. Obviously Annette is definitely featured in it, but it's not just about Annette. And so I just want to go back to the lanyard thing. So I don't understand, where's this come from? Why did you have to explain that again? Why did you have to search that up?
Well, because people keep saying in here that there is a message between me and Pockerz somewhere where I've said that. I have spoken to Pockerz about a lanyard, basically, previously, because I don't know if you know this, but we obviously did a video. Well, I did a video where I showed the lanyard that she had in the goodie bags. Do you remember the goodie bags?
I do.
And so basically I was just explaining to him where I got that lanyard from, because
somebody's saying in the chat that they can upload it. If they do upload it, do you mind me popping it on the screen and seeing what it is, what this is all about? I mean, I will say nowadays that obviously screenshots are very easily done via AI and stuff like that. But if somebody is going to post some sort of evidence of it, do you want to have a look at it and see what it is? I mean, it gives them some time to do that. I mean, I've seen you take the piss, and let's face it, you have said on the podcast that you regret some of the things that you have said about Luna in the past. You know?
Yeah, I genuinely don't think it sounds like something that I would say about someone. You know, I genuinely don't. And I couldn't find any evidence in any screenshots. So,
yeah.
You know, people are saying that they've seen it, but I'd like to see it if it's genuine.
So you spoke to Luna today, did you?
No, I went into another live and I spoke to Pitta because I actually changed my view on Pitta.
Right.
After sort of, you know, seeing how she was in the live today. She actually, well, Dan went in there, as he said earlier, to talk to her about how things were going. After she had affected him quite a lot but they helped her move, if you remember. And she had caused a lot of concern to his partner while she was there. And he was trying to explain to her how that had affected him and all this sort of stuff. And she wasn't really listening to it. And it was good to hear Pitta basically stand up to Annette and say, actually, I have this opinion as well.
Yeah.
So that changed my whole opinion of it. I thought that was really interesting to see. You know, so I went in there and just said that to her. I said, look, I actually genuinely do agree with the way that you're handling it, Pitta. And I sort of said to her, look, if Annette really wants to have a conversation about how this is all gone and how it's affecting her, because there's some new things that came to light, like how she's been potentially diagnosed with various other conditions that could explain the way that she acts. So I thought it was quite interesting. And I said, look, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you to see where we can go from there, basically. That's basically what happened today.
Yeah. Can I just address the chat, because my mod chat's busy and everybody else is busy. If that account who claims to have the screenshots uploads a screenshot, we just need a message saying it's uploaded, and yes, your account needs to be public, and we'll have a look at it. All right. If mods could just keep an eye on that and pin it if it's going to happen, and we'll have a look. But Pockerz earlier on said that it seemed to him, at least, that you were putting out an olive branch today.
Yeah, well, I guess that was the idea. But I guess I didn't watch the whole live, but I believe that she didn't react very well to what Dan was saying, and then she went to delete her account. Or I don't really understand what's happened. Do you know what's happened with that?
I know that obviously people can deactivate their accounts. So you've got like 30 days or something, you deactivate it and it won't show on the app as though you've deleted it. And then if you log in anywhere between the 30 days, you can then start the countdown again. It doesn't mean that necessarily you have, deleted it. It just means you can
you have 30 days.
Pause, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that account is quite silent in the chat, but we'll see. I will let you know as well, guys, this will be the last few boxes. But yeah, so what about I asked Pockerz the same thing, John. Like, last night, the lives that were held, the Tuna Tuesday, all of this sort of stuff, is that coming to the end? I'm shit with technology in the chat. Jesus Christ, uploading a screenshot. I believe.
I mean, it's not really my show, so you know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not really my decision.
But if it's not your show and there's an olive branch and all this, does that mean you are not going to be on Tuna Tuesday anymore? Are you like, oh, well, actually, like, are you stepping away? It's not obviously like a separation of your friendship. Obviously, you and Potters are really close. Is it great? But like,
it's been an interesting day. You know, it's been an interesting day, and I don't think I'm ready to really go into detail on what the outcome of today is.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I think. Look, there's two sides to the story, isn't there? From my point of view, we have seen her do this a number of times before, where she gets very upset about things and then claims that she's going to leave, and people feel that she's actually starting to listen and will change some of her behaviour. I'm just saying this is the fourth time now. Is that genuine? This is the first time I've seen Pitta talk to her the way that she did. And it was the first time I saw Pitta actually stand up for some people back at Annette. And so that was definitely very interesting, you know?
Yeah. I suppose, like I said to Pockerz, you and Pockerz are going to be the people that people will approach if they have an issue with Annette, and or they think that they have something on Annette, or they want to, you know, they're going to be coming to you, aren't they? So in some way you will sort of always have that landed on your door and do that. Do you think it's awareness at this point, or I don't know, like, I don't know how to ask it, 'cause, like, I just feel like saying, is it time to just, you know, back away a little bit? Do your cruise content, your cooking content. You're a funny fucking dude, as you know. Do your reaction content.
Look, you know, at the end of the day, if there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing to talk about, right? So if a person doesn't do something that warrants a discussion, then there's no content to be had anyway, right?
Yes.
While she continued to do those things, please do remember who it was who brought to light the charity originally, who brought to light the goodie bags originally, who brought to light her behaviour originally. If that wasn't brought up, it may never have come to light to everyone.
Well, yeah, you put a lot of you definitely highlighted scrutiny into that stuff, and should it have a closer look, and on closer inspection, things were not always the way they seem. That's true. That is true.
But I think that the issue is much bigger than a live that me and Pockerz do. You know, the issue is much greater than that. If a person is being affected so much by a social media app, by so many people on a social media app acting a way towards you, first off, I'd say if everyone's saying the same thing to me, then I need to examine my own behaviour. First of all, would be my first point. The second point is, actually, if you are affected that much by social media, whether there's a Jon and Pockerz show or not, you're always going to be affected by social media, and you need to consider whether that's the right move for you.
Well, that's true. That is true. We've spoken a lot about tonight to have a, you know, I mean, you're sitting in this live now. You are getting obviously criticism in the chat. You've got to be able to stand there and be able to take that sort of criticism, or any sort of criticism. And if you can't, it's not the place for you, is it?
I'm more than happy to take criticism on board, and you know that from the podcast that we've done recently. I've already accepted where I took things too far. You know, sometimes my emotions get the better of me and I do the wrong thing, as do a lot of human beings, and you know, we're not perfect. The most important thing is how you deal with that and how you don't repeat that. As long as you do those things, then I think that people should be forgiven. How
do you make sure that it's awareness and not bullying?
It's a very fine line, and we've probably crossed that a number of times. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say sometimes I don't get worked up about something and say the wrong thing. I always do my best to ensure it doesn't cross that line. I think that people enjoy doing bingo. I think they enjoy watching someone else's content and us commentating on it. You have to understand that both myself and Pockerz are in a unique situation where we can actually comment on something coming from an area of understanding. And so it's kind of an area of our expertise, you know, and therefore that surely would make up some of our content, because that is what we know. So if she comes on and does a number of lives or videos that would demand a commentary about, then yes, there would be a show that would do that, and that's what we do. As I said, if she doesn't bring that level of content that requires scrutiny, there's nothing to talk about, and so therefore there would be no show.
Is there? Well, I mean, I've got a few questions on the tip of my tongue. I know we've spoken about this a little bit on the podcast, but you don't have to answer questions, obviously, but is there anything directly looking back where you're like, I wish I never said that. I wish I never did that. To do with anything to do with Luna that you want to discuss, you don't have to. You can just say, "Oh well, that's we'll move on."
Well, I mean, we talked about the big one on the podcast, which everyone can listen to tomorrow, and they'll hear my genuine thoughts on that. And I think that's a good thing for if they want to hear where I'm at with that. That's a good place to listen to it.
Yeah.
In terms of today, I think it's hard to see people upset, especially when you were that person's friend for a very long time. You don't become that person's friend unless you genuinely had some empathy for them. However, people on this app don't always come at it from a knowledge of, like, I knew her off of TikTok.
Yeah.
I do regret bringing it onto TikTok in the very first place. I'd say that's my biggest regret.
And is there what is the worst thing? Is a sort of a final question here, John. What is the worst thing to you, if you want to disclose it, that Luna has done? What is the worst thing that Luna has done to you? Something that obviously still upsets you to this day. Something you think about. I think you think a lot of people don't actually know.
There are a number of things that have happened that I don't think people fully understand. Some of which, again, we talked about, which you'll see.
Yeah.
In the podcast, and some of which I've posted about previously around my workplaces, around my home life. There were things that definitely went too far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That account has said they've uploaded a screenshot. However, this is like the worst screenshot I've ever seen. And
that
1 second.
was completely not.
So they've uploaded two things. The first one, I've got to say, it says, I mean, it's very cut and pasted. It's yeah. I mean, that, that looks like a chat that's been cut and pasted on top of something. And you can see the back end of it saying, you want to delete this message, and then something saying not strong enough. But it doesn't say what user is sending it, and it obviously isn't the chat that is taking place there. But there is another clip, so I don't know whether that
was completely not what I was expecting you to type at all. I nearly said this on live, actually. Guys, we're just having a conversation. Just I know what's going to happen though.
Is this bringing any memories back, John? Or?
Not personally. I mean, I want to go away and actually watch this and have a look and see how the messages clip together and everything.
Okay. Do you have any? I mean, I'm going to play it. I mean, it's only a little bit longer. If you want to stay in and watch it with me and give your raw opinion, or you can just watch it and then go away and do your own thing.
Yeah, I'm happy to watch it with you.
I don't know if I missed something. You're laughing there, so
I nearly said this on live, actually. Guys, we're just having a conversation. Just I know what's going to happen though.
I think they're trying to indicate that that's what you've typed in the chat there. I was going to say this on live, and then you can hear you typing, and then that's come up. But this could, I mean, this could be anything. Well, I mean, you could have been typing anything, to be honest. I just want to let it play and see if there's any sort of clarification of it.
And then I was going to say this as well. But I can't say it. I can't say it. I can't say it.
It's not the full video. You uploaded it.
We are going straight to hell. I'm gonna delete those as well, because you know what will happen when I end the video later. It will go to our chat, and someone will see those things. I can't, guys. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't share it. It's just I can't.
But that's suggesting that you were messaging Pockerz privately. Maybe.
Well, I mean, during the lives, we do obviously message each other sometimes, to talk about different things, and we make jokes to each other and in jokes. But I honestly, I don't remember this exact clip, but I can't see what was said.
No. Other video on the account fact. Yeah, but I've looked at the other video and it's very clipped, and it's not very easy. Like, oh well, that's gone now. Now that I said it was clipped, but it was a very clipped sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we do have in joke. We do have in. I'm not going to lie to you. We do have in jokes between us sometimes, as any friend group would. When you talk about things, that exact message that they're claiming, I don't remember saying it. I don't think it's something that I would say. But if I can bring up that video on my phone later and have a quick look at the clip, I'm happy to address it. But I genuinely don't think that's what I said.
So when you're doing this and you're making comment and then you're typing, and are you sending these messages directly to Pockerz, or is it in a public Discord or your Discord or what?
Well, quite often we'll even type in our Discord, on Pockerz' Discord. So we'll put messages to each other through there as well.
So this could have been this could have been screenshotted and taken from there if you had done it. If you'd done it, obviously I'm not saying you have done it. I'm just saying that it's not like this is something you do between the two of you. If the message would have to be dropped, it would have to have been from Pockerz itself, and people are manipulating the situation that you're just saying, I would like to say this and da-da-da-da-da, and then saying anything. Do you do this usually?
I don't think that is something that I genuinely would have said, no. But we do message back and forth while we're live saying, should we say this, should we say that? Because we don't want to turn it into something. I already talked to you about crossing lines earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, of course.
And obviously when we're doing a show together, we're not in the room together. So we want to make sure that we're keeping it to a certain level of respect. But yeah, no, I'll go and watch these and see what they're actually claiming. And then I can address it if it needs addressing.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously you're saying you would never say something like that.
It doesn't sound like something that I would ever say, no.
Doesn't sound very definitive, and that's what a lot of people are picking up on.
No, because I'm sat here worried what it is that the message says. I genuinely don't know what it says.
Okay.
I don't think that I would make a comment about someone like that. I could have made a joke about someone's weight, and I've done that before online before. And I think that's what you said the comment said, right? Something about weight or
well, I've removed the original thing, but I think it was something to do with that, like it wouldn't do it or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I'll let you go. Obviously, you've got to address that and see what's going on with that. Obviously, we do have the podcast episode dropping tomorrow. I think we might have a few people watching now. Dropping at 6 o'clock tomorrow on YouTube. Interview with myself and John, and him giving his side of the story, as well as talking about lots of other things. Thank you, John, for chatting with me. All right. Yeah,
lovely to chat to you, and hopefully the podcast goes well tomorrow for you. And I know you've got your new lot all starting up this month, haven't you? So good luck with it all.
Thank you, John. Thank you, and thank you for giving your sort of, what you think of the situation and everything like that. And have a good night. All right.
Have a good night, Pockerz. Pockerz, fucking up.
How dare you? Peace. Peace.
See you later.
North Yorkshire, you've been so polite waiting. Just give me 1 second though, sorry. Chat, I'm asking questions. I'm not attacking people. The idea is to ask people questions, let them answer, and you guys, you're the people listening, you make the decisions. I would, if this evidence was put to me on a deep dive, I'd ask for more evidence to back it up. But the questions are asked, you guys make your opinions on it, you know what I mean? I can't tell you what to think or how to act. And if you go at people and you're horrible about things or you whatever else, nobody's going to talk, are they? Simple. Right. Sorry, North Yorkshire, you've been honestly so polite. What would you like to say about the situation?
Hiya.
Hey.
I wanted to kind of look at it slightly different if I am. But as someone that's like late on the diagnosis of the spectrum and stuff, I obviously can see things a little bit different to a lot of other people can see.
Yeah, I get that.
And now I don't really watch a lot of Annette. I kind of go in and out of people's lives, silent watching, observing people really. And I do find there's a lot of rejection sensitive dysphoria on the app in general. And I can see this in Annette personally. Now, obviously, I'm not a psychologist or anyone that diagnoses people. I kind of know from personal perspective that I have terrible RSD. And I can see it in other people.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. So I know, not to dumb it down for anybody in the chat, but obviously rejection sensitivity is as simple as the way it sounds. In a way, there's obviously a hell of a lot more to it psychologically and stuff, but that is what it is. And I never thought about it like that. And criticism, or any sort of criticism, whether it's critical thinking or positive criticism, or whatever, people would come off like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and even just saying I'm not talking to you can really come across as like, oh my God, do they not like me? Why are they not wanting to speak to me? You start to question things. And I know with, what's the word, you've spoke about it quite a bit, but when you do something wrong and you can't admit to it.
Accountability, or not having accountability, yeah.
Not having accountability, if I'm correct. I'm terrible for that. Now, I'm 31 and I was diagnosed 2 years ago with autism, and I'm currently waiting for an ADHD assessment. But I am so bad for accountability. I hate it. I can't admit that I've done wrong.
Do you realise the irony of your statement?
Have I just twisted words wrong?
Well, no, you kind of said I'm really bad at accountability. So you're kind of like telling everybody that you really, you are making yourself accountable. In the same respect, you're probably beating yourself up a lot. But as somebody who is on the spectrum myself, diagnosed with both, and I understand that, and I never thought of it in that sort of respect, that it could just be rejection. I always just think it's like echo chamber sort of space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you don't see it because you're in the, I don't know how you feel about it, but like in the big creator part. So people who are big creators see it very, very differently to people that aren't so big creators. Mm-hmm. And I'm very good at observing people, and not always people watching, but I like people watching. I see it from a little bit of a different perspective, especially with having my little boy who's also on the spectrum.
One second. Cave woman. Look, my kids have ADHD and autism and not like this. I have ADHD and would never behave. Well, in Cave woman, what I would say is that it's a spectrum. You should know that. And you shouldn't think that everybody would act the same way on that spectrum. Like, Jesus, like, come on. And nobody is diagnosing Annette here. Somebody's coming up with an opinion based on what they've gone through in their life and are just sharing their opinion. Nobody is saying, oh, well, Annette may have this, so let's, who cares? We're just giving different perspective. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Like, you don't know what people are actually, like, going through with, like, undiagnosed kind of areas, because I never understood, as an autistic person who also has ADHD, you can talk more than you think. I'm very good at that. I can overtalk anyone.
But what people don't realise with ADHD and autism, you basically, I try and say it's sort of like it's two people arguing. Like, I want to be spontaneous, I want to keep to a routine. And there's the fight in between that, and it can be very hard to deal with that. And obviously everyone deals with it differently. So I get that.
Yeah, and when you're not diagnosed, you start to question these things when people are like, oh, maybe you've got this, maybe that. And it's like, well, have I? Am I actually acting that way? Is it fake? You start questioning everything around you. Yeah. And I'm not saying she is. It's just kind of a personal perspective that I've kind of seen myself, like I have with a lot of people on this app.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to throw that in there as someone that understands quite a bit about the spectrum and how different it can be for everyone.
Well, can I just say thank you very much for giving your perspective, and thank you for waiting so patiently in the box. It's not easy being the last person. So I know, especially, yeah. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will say goodbye though, but thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me, in fact.
No, I appreciate you. Catch you in a bit. Right, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't no delusive Angie, so I ain't staying up till 2, 3 in the morning drinking fucking buzzballs, having people talking all night. I think we've had a really healthy discussion. Well, at least I hope we have. Nobody's attacked Annette. Nobody's attacked her disabilities. Nobody's body shamed. Nobody's gone at her. We've had open dialogue with a lot of different people. People who've been very outspoken about Annette and you guys as viewers and stuff. So I hope you guys thought it was respectful, and I hope you thought it went well. I'm sure a lot will come of it. I'll have to go and hide. Don't forget, obviously, we have that podcast episode coming out, right? So what you need to do right now, it'll not take you long. If you click on my profile, if you click on me, I never open my boxes as well. Might have to do this more often. If you click on my profile, you see there's a live event thing there. If you click on that, you can hit register, which basically just sets you a reminder so you don't forget. We're going to have a little bit of a live tomorrow night before it starts on YouTube. And obviously it is the first episode back of the podcast where John is a guest and he has a lot to obviously say and give his opinion across. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the live, and I hope fucking hell, I'm surprised I haven't burnt out. Thank you anybody who supported. If you enjoyed the live, please hit follow now before we end the live. Thank you to anybody who sent any gifts, tapped the screen, interacted very respectfully in the chat. I appreciate that. Reposting, tapping, anyone who sent any gifts or anything, thank you so much. I might have missed a few. Thank you. You guys are absolute legends. Be respectful and keep smashing it, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for the podcast. Right, peace guys, honestly, and also mods, because you know I'm going to crash. You've done an amazing job. It's been a busy room tonight. Thank you. Right, peace.